physically, and it makes the rest of your day way easier.
Okay, so you should get into politics. Voluntary adversity.
No.
Voluntary adversity.
No. I would way rather have people like you on and try to help you out than get involved.
Well, I
myself.
appreciate that. I'm grateful for
I
that.
have zero interest in getting involved myself. Is this where your interests end, though? Is it just mayor stuff, or do you ever look bigger than that?
I don't know. You know, right now, honestly, I was looking at a couple of different options. And then when January 7th hit with the fire, the world sort of stopped. And I want to spend a lot of time right now trying to get it rebuilt. There's going to be time for politics for me, for sure. It's probably not right now.
So you think like one day like governor, one day like
maybe
president?
Well, come
on, Rick.
You know what I want to do? I look at it, and I don't mean this in a morbid way. I mean it in a positive way. I'm sort of at the back nine of my life, right? And I've had an incredible life. And so what can I do like that's really meaningful at this point? And I enjoy public service a lot. I enjoyed when I worked for 3 different mayors. And so I do want to do something at some point. But the question for me is, where is the place that I can do the most good? And have a good time doing it, by the way, because I like having fun. And where does that intersect? And so as time goes on, I'll figure that out. And whether it's the governor or whether it's the mayor, I'm not quite sure. But I want to do something at some point. But now I really want to get the place rebuilt. Let's get moving.
What does that involve? You wanted to get the place rebuilt. So how long is this woman still going to be the mayor for?
Well, she's there for, I think about 18 months or so. And she already announced before the fires she's going to run for re-election. But we'll see how that plays out. As a private citizen, it's this group that I put together that's going to work really closely, pushing the city, finding solutions, sort of calling out when they're not doing what they need to be doing. And I'm hopeful that that's going to be really effective. And like I said, bending the curve, shortening the timeline to get people in. And that's going to take most of my time and most of my day. I got a small, mighty staff that I hired for it. I'm going to fund it myself. I'm going to use all the resources from my company and the talent we have in the company to help find answers to rebuild it. We got guys like, Joe Lonsdale's a part of that group, one of the biggest thinkers around. I got the head of Parsons, one of the great Gensler architectural firms. Everybody's donating time and talent. And so we want to push the needle on this thing. And then politics will come down the road. We'll figure that out.
Well, that sounds wonderful, but it seems to me that unless you're at the cockpit, unless you're, controlling the direction of the city, it's going to be very hard to really change things in a meaningful way.
It's a good challenge for sure, but I can't change the leadership that's there now, and the problem is now.
Right.
So I got to figure out how I help the leadership be successful.
Has the leadership adjusted their perspective based on this enormous failure of the fire? Because it seems like politically that's a giant handicap for them, right? Obviously, it was a huge disaster. So in order to get reelected, you have to give these people some faith that you've recognized that you've made some errors and that you're going to do things differently in the future.
I haven't heard that.
Well, that sounds crazy.
Yeah. But, I'll be really honest with you. I'm always honest with you, with everybody. When you're a leader and you weren't around to help prevent the problem, probably highly unlikely you're going to be able to fix the problem, if that was your judgment.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So if your judgment was, I'm going to go out of town when this catastrophic event is about to hit the city that I'm in charge of, you probably don't have the judgment to get it fixed. I hope I'm wrong. But I'm going to do whatever I can to help, because the problem is bigger than the politics and the problem is bigger than her. And the people that are suffering shouldn't be suffering because of her or anything that she did or who she appointed that failed in their job. We've got to do a workaround. It's the only option I've got right now. And that's what we're going to do. And that's what I'm going to do.
Well, that's very practical. Is there anything else that you would think of that needs to be discussed about LA and that you think could be fixed?
You know,
We covered the regulations.
Yeah.
What about